Hello, everyone. Today we're going to look at functions again. We're going to look closer at docstrings, which we didn't cover in the last video. And we're going to do function calls, parameters, return in more detail. We're going to call functions from other functions so you can start to see how the whole picture gets put together. So we're building a blackjack application. Quick disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes and it's not intended to promote gambling. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started here. So the first thing I want to show you is the doc strings that I've added for the functions we built in the last video. So you can see here when I mouse over, we get some useful information about what that method does, this initialize deck method. So I've added a doc string here with double quotes three times, and it's very standardized format here. So you'll see from this standardized format, we get the separation here where it says returns, this piece of information, shuffle the deck, and then just some general information about what the function does. Draw card has similar information here. Let's mouse over draw card and see what appears here. So we get params, so that's what goes into the method, and returns is what comes out. So when I call this method like we did earlier, this gets converted into what the card return is, and what we send in is the deck. So that's a quick review of the old methods that we did there, and here are the new ones. I've already pre-written the doc strings so that we have a good sense of what we're building. So the first thing we're going to do is going to create this method that does a card value. It's going to take in a card, and which is our string, our list, one of the items on that list, and then it's going to return the integer value of the card. So this is where we have to keep in mind the rules of the game of blackjack. So let's start here. First, we're going to handle the case where the card returns the value 10. So in blackjack, the jacks, the queens, and the kings, the face cards, all return the value 10. So does the value 10, but because it is 10, we can just convert that into a string, which we'll do in a minute here. But that's all that's needed to say, hey, jack, queen, and kings, those are the value 10, card value. Next, let's handle the ace. Return 11. Aces return 11 or 1. We will handle the case where ace is 11 down here. We need to know the total value of the hand before we can convert the ace into a 1. But for now, we're going to call it an 11. And here, we also want to go over real quick what in does. So card in this list. So what I'm saying here is if this card is any of these items, that's what the in keyword does for us. It says any of these items on the list. So it's an or statement. This card, jack or queen or king, then run this code. The last thing we do is this else statement. We just return the card, but remember our cards are strings, so we want to convert it to an integer. This will allow us to do math at a later point. So that's everything that we need for card value. Now we're going to use that in our calculate hand value. We're going to use the card values to calculate our hand values. So to do that, we're going to start off with just a placeholder. That's the value of our entire hand there. Keep in mind, this function is taking in the hand. So now we have access to one player's entire hand, whether it's the dealer or your hand or another player at the table's hand. You're getting their entire hand, and now you're going to want to loop through their entire hand. So we want to loop through each card in hand. So here you have a list, which is your hand, and it's going to go through each item on the list. So that's what for in will do here. And then because we already built card value, all we need to do is call that function and send in the card for each time we want to calculate that value. So say card is equal to, say the user has a king, and an ace. So first it's going to send in this king as a string. It's going to read it. It's going to return the value 10. 10 is going to get added to value, which starts out as a 0. Then if we send in the second card as an ace, the ace will get sent in. This card will get sent in. It'll be read as an ace, and then it returns the value 11 here. So 11 will appear right here, and it gets added to the value, which was 10, so the user would have 21. Perfect hand. So that's all that's needed to read each of the cards in their hand. And the last thing we'd want to do here is handle that case where an ace can be 11 or 21. So if the value of the hand is over 21 and you have an ace in the hand, we can remove the value 10 from the hand. And so what this will do is look for, I have a typo here. Look for the value of the hand. When it's over 21, we can remove 10, which will make what was previously 10 now into the value of 1. 11 will now be the value 1. And here we just return the value of the hand. This code will need to be modified to handle multiple aces. So that's a bit of an edge case. We'll get into that later, but this is good enough for now. And the last thing we want to do is just run our main function, but let's display the value of the hand. So hand value will be equal to this method, calculate hand value, and let's send in player hand. We're going to copy this code and send in the dealer hand. And let's take a look at how our code runs. So Jack 4 is 14, 10, 3, 13. All the math checks out there. Run it a couple more times. You have ace 5, 16, 10, 6, 16. So yeah, that's an easy way to start to modularize your code, right? We are having multiple hands here, or multiple methods here, multiple functions, to really simplify and streamline the main function here. So our main function is very readable and reusable, right? We can reuse this method as many times as we want. We don't have to copy and paste all of this code down here or all of this code over here multiple times. So this is a very effective way to use methods. That's all we're going to cover in this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.